Supreme Court finds affirmative action unconstitutional, says schools cannot consider race during admission. Should have already been known, but fuck it, right? We guess we have to have the Supreme Court say it so that we can just ignore them. United States Supreme Court struck down affirmative action, saying that the practice is a violation of the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. The court ruled universities and colleges cannot weigh in applications race during the admissions process. The majority of the justices found affirmative action policies unavoidable. Employ race in a negative manner, involve racial stereotyping, and lack meaningful endpoints. Exactly. Basically saying, putting someone in the school who is black just for the sake of them being black and not for the fact that they're doing a good job means that you're just going to have a school filled with, like, you know, dumbass black folks who shouldn't have been there in the first place, and all the people who could have been in there, black, white, Asian, regardless of their race, all the ones that could have been in there for good grades are probably not going to get in there for the good grades. So you're going to end up with all the ones who are just in there just because, right? Now because this is my view on it, right? The people who aren't doing good, they know they're not doing good, but they're still going to apply. And I am 100% sure that when they go and apply for with these affirmative action present, what's going to happen? They're going to see that, oh man, it's a black person. They've got low scores. Oh, you know what? I'm going to help them and help them get into college, even though they have low scores. That's going to be how they view it. Now, if it's a black person and they have high scores, that person doesn't need it as much, right? They're just going to be like, oh, they have good grades. They can get into any school they want. So they're not going to help them. They're not going to use the affirmative action on those ones. They're going to use it on the dumbasses. And then the dumbasses are going to fill the schools. Then they're going to pass purely because they want to look good. Oh, look how diverse we are. They're going to pass because of all of that shit. And then what? What is going to happen? Well, you're going to have a bunch of stupid people in positions that they should not be in, doing stupid shit like being judges and lawyers, politicians, or doctors and nurses. Yeah, that's kind of a sad future. I mean, that's going to really suck for anybody who is not with the bullshit, i.e. me. Supreme Court also sides with a Christian web designer versus a same-sex couple. The Supreme Court on Friday sided with a Christian graphic web designer, Lori Smith, who objected to designing a wedding websites for same-sex couples. The 6-3 decision, split among ideological lines, came after Smith sued the state of Colorado over its anti-discrimination law, prohibiting businesses from denying services based on a customer's sexual orientation. In its ruling, the court's conservative majority ruled that the First Amendment bars Colorado from forcing an individual to speak in ways that align with its views but defy her conscience about a matter of major significance. The funny thing is, isn't Colorado the same state where that whole cake situation happened? I believe it is. So they kind of, I could be wrong, but they kind of reversed that whole cake thing. Because I think the whole cake situation, I'm not fully educated on that whole bake the cake situation, but I think how the cake situation was the gay couple came in there, they wanted to make their cake for their wedding, and they were like, no, we don't feel comfortable making a gay cake. And then they were like, that's discrimination. And then, well, they lost. They were like, oh, you have to make the cake. But now they're like, you don't have to design the web page. So isn't that like going against it? I mean, but I guess in this, I don't know. I guess it's the Supreme Court, so it may be different. I don't know, but shouldn't that now mean that that whole cake situation should be overturned? Once again, I don't know. I haven't paid attention to that cake situation. It might have already gotten overturned, and I'm just behind because I haven't heard of anything about it in like at least a year or two. So that's that. Whatever. This definitely kind of would go in the favor of the cake maker, that you don't have to make the fucking cake. Fuck you. I don't have to make shit. You can't force me to do anything. I still don't understand why. But whatever. I don't know. I don't know all of the advice about the law. Now, of course, when this happens, Joe Biden on Twitter had some shit to say, or his intern had something to say, I should say. In the wake of today's Supreme Court decision on student loan relief, we need a new way forward, and we're moving fast as we can. Here's what's next. Now, of course, this is a response to them saying you can't, they don't have the ability to forgive all of the student loans, which, of course, I believe Nancy Pelosi said that they can't do it, and they know that they can't do it, but this is literally all they do every time. Hey, vote for us, we'll forgive your loans. Then they don't do it. And then people are like, what? You were supposed to do it. And then they don't do it. And then they use the same tactic again for the next election. And people are like, oh, yes, vote for them again. And it's like, bro, they've been saying this every single time. And they never fucking do it. Why do you keep voting for this shit? And they never do it. Bro, like, are you dumb? Yes, they're dumb as hell. But how long are you going to be dumb? I mean, if somebody lies to you once, twice, 50 times, at what point are you like, wait a minute, they said that 50 times already. Are they lying to me? No, they're not. I'm going to vote for them again. That's exactly what's going on. First, I'm announcing a new path to provide student debt relief to as many borrowers as possible, as quickly as possible, grounded in the Higher Education Act. So is this going to be another executive order just to kind of bypass Congress and all the Supreme Court stuff? That's what it seems like. Just moments ago, Secretary Miguel Cardona, took the first official step to initiate this new approach. We aren't wasting any time. Yeah, you are. You're just trying to get votes, but whatever. Second, we're creating a temporary 12-month on-ramp to repayment. This is not the same as the student loan pause, but during this period, if you miss payments, this on-ramp will temporarily remove the threat of default or having your credit harmed. This fight isn't over. Yeah, let's see what the comments are saying. So this says, Supreme Court stimulus. So Adam, bachelor's degree in philosophy, $100 in debt, can't find a philosophy job, believes people without college degrees are stupid. Chris, 4-year paid apprenticeship, no student debt, earns $80,000 annually, disconnected. Adam's electricity. Damn. What happened to all the trade schools? Right. Aren't there still trade schools? I don't honestly know. I'm pretty sure there are still trade schools. All the manufacturing went to China. Oh, now we import people to do the other trades. Yeah, so that sucks. New way forward. Stop giving out BS degrees. No amount of affirmative action will make gender studies as useful marketing degree. And then, Parody Cat, if you vote for me, I'll make sure you can get a free degree in YouTubing. Hey, why don't you just ask Zelensky to cover student loan debt? He's got a bunch of money out here. Oh shit, that's true. He probably fucking could. But of course, they don't ever plan on fucking doing it. They're not gonna frickin' relief your loans, get you student loan relief. They're just using it to get your vote and then not do it afterwards, like they literally do every fucking time. But of course, stupid college kids, they're there every 4 years, so they have a new group of idiots to vote for them because of that. So I don't know why. Whatever. Harvard hints at how it will keep considering race in admissions despite Scotus ruling. Harvard University suggests in a statement Thursday that it will use essays to continue to weigh students' race following a ruling by the Supreme Court that struck down affirmative action. The Supreme Court ruled that Harvard University and the University of North Carolina's use... Oh, wow, that's... what? North Carolina? Harvard University and the University of North Carolina's use of race-based affirmative action admissions policies were unconstitutional. Following the ruling, Harvard University said it will use applicants' essays detailing how race has affected their lives in an effort to comply with the court's decision. According to a university statement, related half of... So basically they're going to use the essays to find out what their race is and what their ideology is and be like, okay, that's actually going to be a bit more in-depth, to be honest. To be honest, they're going to probably be able to get more of an in-depth view of the person. So I wonder if a person could be like, hey, not be a black person and just make the essay seem as if they are being oppressed by their race without actually saying that they're a black person. That might actually backfire on them. And I hope it does. I hope it backfires on them, because that would be awesome. And they end up getting a whole bunch of decent people who actually need to be going to college regardless of their race. And they're like, wait a minute. It's not all black people. This is terrible. And of course, evacuation underway, because when the Supreme Court says something that these motherfuckers don't like, violence ensues. Evacuations underway. Supreme Court's front steps following discovery of suspicious package. Multiple law enforcement are presently evacuating numerous individuals in response to a suspicious package discovered on the steps leading to the Supreme Court in Washington, D.C. This comes amid protests over the court's decision that affirmative action in schools is unconstitutional. Police are actively investigating the situation while the ongoing investigations are being carried out. I'm assuming nothing happened, because if it did, we would have definitely heard it by now. But once again, violence when you don't get what you want sounds like the tactic of, people who need to be cold. I'll use that terminology. Of course, I'm hoping Supreme Court Justice realizes their legitimacy is being questioned from this guy. This guy is the person saying such a thing. Joe Biden's legitimacy, non-existent. So I guess he's not really being questioned on his legitimacy. He just has no legitimacy. At this point, there's no one out there who's got half a brain or even a tenth of a brain who thinks he's legitimate. Like, his legitimacy shot. Nobody is on the Joe Biden, I don't know, choo-choo train stumbling down the steps. He's gone. He's got no he's not legitimate. Nobody's believing him. Nobody's with him. I mean, you can't really believe anybody. Like, if somebody is still on Joe Biden's side, clearly those should be the people who are like, you don't need to vote. Like, if you voted for Joe Biden when he was, running, okay, you voted for him then. We're not going to say anything to you because you were duped, even though it wasn't. Still should have known, but you were duped. Okay, we'll give that one to you. But at this point, if you're still on the Joe Biden train and you're still just saying Joe Biden's doing a good job, okay, well, you've shown that your ability to think logically, non-existent. You don't need to be voting, like, at all. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro or sister, but you don't need to be voting. You gotta turn your brain on before you can vote next time. We're gonna have a test. We're gonna see how much you know. If you know nothing, then that's how much voting you're gonna be doing. Also, if you're not a citizen, let's get the fuck out of here, motherfuckers. You're not doing this. We're not doing this shit anymore. We gotta start lowering them numbers. This is a clip from our podcast called The Oreyo Show, which you can watch live on YouTube, Rumble, and Odyssey. If you would like to watch these clips somewhere other than YouTube, you can also check us out on Odyssey, Rumble, or Player, where you will get more clips that we cannot post on YouTube. If you like what we are doing here, You can support the channel by joining our locals or Subscribe Star. Also, you can join our Discord server and keep in contact with us, as well as send us clips or videos that you would like us to talk about on an upcoming show. And don't forget to check the links down in the description to see what else we have going on. Thank you very much for watching. Peace.